It helps to have a microphone in front of my face. Alright, hey everyone. I don't know if I missed so far. Dang, lots of messages. We got Damien, Azathoth, Jason, sounds familiar, Pliny, all in chat already. Indigo Raven showing up. Just had a lot of mornings and afternoons so far. Where is he? He's a minute late. Yeah, I had a literal last minute thing to do before I could get in front of the camera here. Alright, that's better. I was getting this wild sheen on the left side of my face. I'm having a good morning. How's everyone else doing? As you can see, I have lots of balloons and stuff back there. Had a big party yesterday. My life runs like clockwork, and I obviously cannot tolerate variation. I was 1 minute late, and now everyone's life is thrown out of whack. Alright, let's get today rolling, I think. If anybody wanted to come in, they should be in already. If they missed the first track, that's on them. Oh, Iggy was first. Is that legit though? Did nobody else claim first? It goes to you, Iggy. You may not have been the first one here, but you were the first one to claim it. I'm pretty sure that's internet rules. If it's not, it is today. We're adding a new rule to the internet rule list. Alright. That's working. That's working. Is this working? It's all going well for Brian. Our first one comes from Donnerwomp. No context. Just says rage. Carved in stone. That's what we're going to be checking out then. Never heard this band before. Really digging the font on their name. It has a bunch of etches and edges part of it in the outside of each of the blocks. Just looks really nice. Alright, nothing about the music there. Let's dive into this and see what Rage is bringing. Hey, Pear, welcome. Oh, Inky, hey. Missed that one. We got some horns out in the background. A little bit of a taste for tomorrow. Beautiful string line. Oh no, horns isn't tomorrow. Horns is next week. Oh, nice modulation there. Tons of aggression and power. I wonder if any of that's going to come back. Got that backbeat cymbal hit, Ride. I actually like the Ride. It's very small, but just enough to pierce through. Almost like a cymbal hit. Or, sorry, a triangle hit. So this is power metal, right? An extension on that line. like the chords in this pre-chorus. Very Megadeth right here, but that kill switch idea. Yeah, beautiful harmony. Some very fun whammy bar ideas going on in there. Lots of just fun timbres. Actually very smoothly moves from the thrashy to the power. Oh man, they ended the song like 3 times there. So many perfect places to just stop. And they chose not to. I like the chorus, nice sing-along hook. Yeah, I actually found the verse guitar lick, the really fast 16th note idea, and the chorus vocal work to both be very catchy. In fact, I enjoyed most of this. It's not something I think I would actively seek out, but for the first track of a live stream, I'm here for it. I think it works well. But I think this is also just my general feeling towards a lot of power metal and even a little bit of thrash. And I kind of like the contrast here too. Full songs of thrash are a bit much for me, but pairing it with this very strong harmonic section is just a beautiful combination. But yeah, I like power metal when I listen to it. I don't actively seek out power metal. So, yeah, I mean, to me, this is a really great track for a one-off listen. It combines what I like about power with a little bit of that intensity that I enjoy in moderation from thrash, and does it all in an extremely catchy manner. And I enjoyed the guitar solo duet. That was really nice how we moved from one into the other through the use of harmonization across a transition beat or two. And then brought that together. I really like the chord shift they went into for the bridge, for the solo section. I wish we had stuck with that a little bit. We had a nice chord in our pre-chorus. Nice chord progression there as well. Our chorus and our verse pretty much stuck with standard rock and metal chord progressions, but they did dip their toes a little bit into some fun stuff occasion, which again helped contrast everything. The vocals were brought up a couple times, and they're all right. I'm pretty much with everyone on that. They're fine. They're serviceable. I don't always have. Oh no, I don't have anything negative to say about them. I don't really have anything positive. The harsh moving out of our second chorus felt a little forced, but that might just be because of my expectations. A lot of bands that decide to have harsher vocals tend to do really good harsh vocals. So to hear this just really gruff low end, sort of just pushing his range as low as it can go and putting some grit and distortion on it, sounds kind of cheesy, but I mean, we're also in power metal, so I mean, maybe that's just par for the course. 25 albums in 48 years. That's some work ethic right there. I've still never heard of him. I mean, all right, here's the deal. This is wild. Usually when I see these numbers, I expect smaller bands. 5,500 subscribers. That's it. 5.5K. That is a small amount for a channel. Even the topic channels, which I understand are going to be smaller subscription based, because most people, I think, just utilize them to listen to albums, or they just use something else. The topic channels are literally just for uploading music, I think for YouTube Music's portion. But still, that is just not a lot for a band that's put out 25 albums that have been around for 5 decades. I don't even know how to think about that. 38, okay, so that's even more impressive. So 4 decades, but that means more albums per year. Because we were looking at, on average, about 2 a year with the other numbers. No, sorry, 1 every other year. That's what I meant to say. I can divide correctly, I promise. I have the right divisor and dividend. But yeah, so just a really palatable, catchy track that incorporates a little bit of thrash, a little bit of power, and some neat chordal ideas. Nothing that really stands out, but I'd probably say it's a good comfort food song, possibly album or band. You just really want this style of music. They do it very well. Nothing flashy, nothing outside the box. And, you know, we always need bands like that. Alright. Moving on, we got one from Evil. Been a while since I sent some Avatar your way. So here's some featuring Corey Taylor, and visuals for the video are interesting as well. Alright. I'm having a real hard time picturing Corey Taylor's vocal style against Avatar's musical stylings. I've heard a few different styles of their music. This is going to be I'm here for the reactions, not your poor mathematics. Oh man. And you know, you would think that having an AS degree in computer science and having to take physics 2 and calc, I think I went up to calc 3 and I did some differential equations, but I think I flunked out a differential because it's way over my head. You think I'd be able to do division. Alright, let's dive into some Avatar and see what they're doing with Corey Taylor. Your math turned into letters. As soon as they introduced X, all my core mathematics flew right out the window. I really like that eyeball. They didn't go for like a realistic CGI one. They did a nice 2D flat animation on the floor, and it works so well. Oh, coming out of nowhere with that. This isn't the first song I've heard with Avatar whistling. I don't know what it is. They really dig whistles. And you know what? It's something I so rarely hear in metal, so I'm here for it.
I'm blown away like a layer of dust on the floor of the hall where we first met. Trust was the first thing we lost that day. You asked me to stay.
You know, this sort of indie rock clean drawl I was not expecting.
The taste of shame.
You know, I'm enthralled by this. Where is this going?
I just wanna play. There's a sense of regret, but I don't know whose time we are stealing. Ask me and I wouldn't change a thing. Am I in the way?
He has a much beautiful clean and I remember. And there's a little vibrato. He uses it so sparingly at the end of held out notes. I'm gonna have to seek him out. I'm gonna have to do some album dives. Yeah, passing on that melody line to a call and response into guitars. Had a balloon roll in my periphery. It scared me.
I'm blown away like a layer of dust, but I don't know the name. I'm more than dirt, so do what you must. I know I must pay. I know it's a crime, but if you come inside, but there's that urge to flee.
Yeah.
We can fight some other time.
Such a gnarly harsh too. I wonder if that's one take or if that's a layered, because there's so much to it. No worries, Birdo. Glad you can make it. There's always something I can't put my finger on with them though. Like the individual elements to this were interesting. The combination of the individual elements was interesting. I was intrigued from the start, you know, what's going to happen next? Where are they going with this? And I really like it all, but it's missing the it factor, the oomph that tells me, I need to immediately dig into more of this. And I'm curious what that is. I wonder if I'll find it in the album, because I think, or in the albums, I think the only thing I've heard from them is singles, music videos. We did listen to one with a trombone in a live setting. I don't know if that was a single or not. But I wonder if it is something about the singles that show off their style without showing off their skill, maybe. It's missing death metal. No, 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 no. Although I did notice, I couldn't tell whether it was just really quick strumming or if it was tremolo picking, but we did have really quick attacks on a single note throughout many of that. Definitely has that black metal texture just with an acoustic guitar, which is very neat. I love hearing things get mixed up like that. Oh. Alright. Just gotta wait it out. I'll be back soon. Oh, apparently I can't spell. There's a first time for everything. So I'm just going to keep trying to fill some time here, wait for them to come back so we can continue our conversation. But for people who are watching this, are we good? Yeah, your stream's no longer blocked. We're good. Excellent. So I basically just filled some time there. As soon as I heard that there was a block, I stopped chatting about it. But yeah, I wonder if there's something in the albums that would draw me in that just isn't in the singles. I like their style, but there's always something missing on the execution level. But it is awesome that every time I hear from them, it's something different while still them. And I don't think I've ever heard this clean before. The clean vocals. There's something very theatric about it. Lots of really wide open tones. None of the forward placement that we typically hear in a lot of rock. Feels more projected as well, almost as if there's some theater training there, which I would not. If someone told me that this dude was a theater singer, did musicals or whatever, did theater back at school or even went to college for it, I would not even bat an eye. I wouldn't even have to go look it up. I would just take it at face value because he has all of that. The stage persona, the charm, the entire theming of the band, everything kind of screams theater kid. And then hearing these powerful projected cleans just kind of leans into that. They have at least 2 concept albums. I'm sold. For the part of Corey Taylor, check the top. I forgot Corey Taylor was in this one. I don't remember hearing his voice at all. Oh, Corey whistled. Oh, in the back of my mind, I was like, he probably did the whistling. And I was like, no, I thought about the harshes. I was like, oh, they had layers in there. Maybe Corey added some extra lower end grit. Because I remember Avatar having a higher, sort of like a post-hardcore fry scream. I was like, maybe he did some layers on it. Probably did not bring him on just to whistle. Yeah, that's what they did. See, a lot of these people, I can't handle how good their vocalist is. The moment he started singing, I had to sub and like. That's where I'm at. I wish the music has a special charm to it, but I don't feel it executes on the same. I don't want to say the same level because it's done well. And they go through different types of music. Like I said, every song I've heard from theirs is different thematically. I'm really enthralled with the vocals, not so much the music. And I think that's why I don't ever check them out, but I need to. Today I learned Corey Taylor's a pretty good whistler. Oh, and one of their concept albums got a movie. You know, you're just proving the point that that somebody in this group is probably a theater kid. um, they sound and look like a heavier steampunk giraffe, and that makes me judge them for being different. I like steampunk giraffe. I just wish they did something different with their music. It's all the same to me. And it's good what they do. I just want some variety of it. It was the first couple of tracks I heard from them are great. Everything else was like, okay, I think I've had enough of my fill of this. And, you know, for better or worse, there's very few people like them. So if they want to really dig into that niche, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Stylistically, I liked it was missing a nice melody somewhere. You know, I can't remember the chorus. The verse? I remember the verse. I remember the pre-chorus. I don't remember the chorus. So Avatar Country, is that one of their... Is that the name of the concept album? I also got a video. I'll probably dig into that. That'll be my entrance to these guys. We'll see where that takes me. I haven't been disappointed, so if I end up listening to the album and just enjoy it and never listen to it again, you know, that's still a win for me. Alright, next up we got one from Skull Collector. Absolutely zero context on this one. We are going in... I don't know how we're going in. I was going to say we're going to go in blind, but one, I kind of don't like that terminology, even though I really haven't found a good phrase to replace it, but also we're not looking at anything, we're listening. So would it be going in deaf, but then it's also leading into that terminology that I'd rather stray away from. Going into it uninformed. We're going to start with that. It doesn't quite have the same ring to it, but it's fine. That's the name of the concept album. Every song has the word king in the title. That could either be fantastic or interesting. I don't know that you can really fail their song titles, but I'm intrigued. Have fun with this. All right, I plan on it. We got some Midnight Eternal, Signs of Fire. Volume is set. Let's dig into this. I'm expecting some, what is that, symphonic metal? Let's see what we get. What's with the 80s chords? I mean, it is symphonic metal, but it is not. I mean, what if we get screams? Oh, okay, we got cleans. Okay, so I'm glad I'm not the only one getting an 80s vibe from the music. I like the top hat on our guitarist. Really interesting harmony. It's all octave based. We've got octave below and octave above though. Symphonic metal. Oh, that's good. This is bizarre how well it works though. When did symphonic metal come out and why wasn't this tried back then? So both of the male vocals are the same vocalist. There's 4 vocals. Oh, we got bells. Ooh, that's nice. Late 90s? Yeah. Nice little mode shift. Definitely modern retro though. So I'm in the same boat as y'all with the vocals being the part I find most distracting, but not her vocal type. During the verse, I have absolutely no issues with the vocals at all. They remind me of the 80s. I don't know why. I don't know if I'm picturing a specific vocalist she reminds me of, but nasally, narrow vocals don't feel wrong with the music type. And I think that's where Damien was coming from, where he says love to hate and hate to love. You know, Madonna might be it. Cyndi Lauper I'm not as familiar with. I recognize the name, but can't put a voice to it. But Madonna did have... Yeah. And that might be where I'm getting that from. And it works. It does feel strange because aside from the chords and notes which give it the 80s feel, it does have a modern symphonic metal vibe given the strings and the production. And there we typically associate, or at least I typically associate, very round operatic vocals. So these feel narrow and tinny and nasally, which, while are not negative connotations on their own, they are typically negative descriptors for operatic singing. So if we're expecting a specific sound and we get the tonal opposite of it, it could sound out of place or odd. Not to mention that nasally voices just aren't as popular today as I've heard in the past as far as mainstream music goes. So there's a lot of things that can play into biases on that. What I found strangest was the voice placement, the production of the vocal layering in the chorus. There's 4 vocals, and they're all in different places, but one is centered. There are 2 somewhere to the right. I had a real tough time placing them, and 1 to the left, but given that 2 of the vocals are our lead singer and the other 2 vocals are the guitarist that was on the right of our vocalist as far as the video was concerned, a lot of the texture and timbre of our voices blended together, and I almost feel like there was some production done to shave off some of the... I mean, either they got 2 vocalists who sound extremely alike, or there was some production stuff going on to make the 2 voices sound closer to each other, and it just kind of sounds like a unified vocal that's been split, and it's just a strange sound for me. I had such a tough time with it. Equal levels though I thought was weird. It's like they were singing over each other. Yeah, that can tie into it too. I mean, I would never have picked that up, but you saying that, yeah. There is no volume difference between them. There's spatial difference, and that's it. But even like I said, the spatial difference is weird too, because the two off to the right, I couldn't tell where they were off to the right. There's just a lot of weird production stuff going on with that four-way harmony in the chorus, and it feels weird. Like seeing bad CGI where you can absolutely tell what's a real person and what isn't. That's kind of where it's at for me. I don't know the word for that. I know the word for it. I can't think of the word for that. But it sounds odd. But other than that, I thought the music was really great. I'm not a huge fan of symphonic metal, but I thought they did a good job of pairing the 80s sound with the 80s synth and the 80s style of melodies. Even our vocal lines, both the verse and the chorus, had an 80s flair to the melodic composition. And pairing that with the strings and the expanded orchestration, because there's also a xylophone, I think, in there during the chorus as well. There might have been some other smaller instruments that I missed out on. It all comes together in such a beautiful way. I never thought I'd hear these two sounds together, and they work phenomenally. So, yeah. I would not mind listening to another track just to see what else they do. But if all they do is lean into this sound and continue to utilize this production type on their harmonies, I'd say I'm probably good with one track. Nice being introduced to it though. I'll probably have to keep my eye on them for a future. Well, this was 2016. Maybe I'll check out a later track from them. Maybe if they have another album out. And I want to see where they expand it. I think the core music's good. Maybe they just need a new producer. Would have gave another, but it's over 7 minutes. All right. Next up, we got LORN, cut the anchor. All caps, man. It's the only way you can say stuff like that. You gotta have that energy. This one comes from Ashes to Ashes, Sus to Sus, also known as Azathoth. In honor of Spooky Month, a spooky song for one of my spookiest, biggest inspirations. Could have kept up with the spooky theme. I did it for you, though. I injected that spooky. I hope that's fine. Alright. Wow. So, across the top where they usually have a banner, maybe a logo with a background to it, sometimes a very long picture of the band, it's just black. That's startling. It almost feels like the web browser didn't load the picture that's supposed to be there. It's a decision to make, that's for sure. Oh, I should probably get this out of the way. I'm kind of enthralled by this whole Bandcamp page. What'd I miss? Band is split up. I was light on the spookiness. Always got to go for groups of 3. If you could fit a third one in there. Apparently a rather nasty split. That sucks. Something happened earlier with Inky. I don't know why this came up in my mind just now. It was a long time ago. We were talking about math and me being bad at it. For some reason, one of Inky's things didn't show up in the this chat area right here. It says too much math makes you forget about numbers. I remember being befuddled for a while when a 7 showed up, and I was like, what's a 7? Oh man, brains are weird. You get really set into a specific thought style, and things that should make sense just don't. Oh, I don't care. You can swear all you want. I tend to censor everything. I don't have a problem with swearing. You guys have heard me use words on the channel before, specifically when referring to band names or title names, but I believe words have power, And the more you use a word, the less power it has. So I reserve those words for when they are necessary. For instance, since you guys have rarely heard me swear on the channel, if you did, you might be taken aback. And that's sort of the effect I would go for, the reason I would use it. It's very, there's precision to it. And I prefer to have that control over my language rather than the language controlling me. That's all. My favorite thing is when you stare at a word too long and the word just breaks in your mind. I don't want to look at rhythm. That word makes no sense. I don't even want to know the history of it. I don't know why that is the way we spell it. I don't care. It is wrong in every way. But if you spell it any differently, I'll be upset. Like with that, that Discord bot we used to have. Rhythm without the first H. That annoyed me to no end. Even though it is a much better spelling, my brain does not like it. YouTube chat is a heck-only zone. Oh, you know, I don't know if I've told this story before. I tell it to people in real life a lot because it's a funny story. Cracks me up. But one day, I was chilling with my dad, and I look over at him, and he just has this disgruntled look on his face. He's just staring at his phone. And I'm like, well, this must be pretty heavy. I said, dude, you good? And he's like, R-I-B-P. The typos. Ribbum. Oh, unless that's not a B, is it? That's a special one, isn't it? I don't know that, but I'm guessing it's a TH sound? A thorn. All right. Anyways, though, I looked at him and said, dude, you good? And he just kind of looked up at me. He goes, you ever looked at a word too long and it just doesn't make sense anymore? I said, yeah, you know, that happens from time to time. He goes, I've been looking at this word for 5 minutes and I can't figure it out. Okay, hit me. What's the word? He goes, the best I got is wahat. I don't know what a wahat is. I said, wahat? He shows me his phone. It's the word what? W-H-A-T. Oh, my jeez. We laughed so hard. And every time I see that word now, I think of wahat. Good times. So yeah, words and brains, they get weird real easy. All it takes is a little repetition, a little being outside of what you're expecting. English lost its special letters when importing printing presses, which didn't have the thorn or the... I don't know the name of that one yet. Who wants to educate me today on for that oddly shaped P? But yeah, that's interesting. A win. All right. So a thorn and a win. I've learned things today. That's interesting. Cuz you know, I was like, I've never seen any of this before, but even when I think of like old-timey stuff, I think of post-printing press. There's not too much I would have visually seen pre-printing press today. I mean, it would have to be handwritten stuff, and I'm going to assume most of that ends up in a museum. English spelling makes no sense anyways. All right. We can keep this conversation going in chat. I don't mind. I'm going to get the song rolling. Oh man, Azathoth, you lost your oddly shaped F. I don't know what it is with this. Let me see real quick. I wonder if this chat box I got to display here... No, it's set up for live chat. I wonder why sometimes it doesn't pick things up. It shows up in YouTube's chat, but This little box guy here doesn't pick it up. Weird. Alright, you know, normally when people call themselves a nerd, I'm like, you really don't gotta call yourself that, but linguistics definitely puts you in nerd category, I'd say. And I say that as, you know, obviously a music nerd. I think I've pretty much centered myself into that title. Alright, like I said, you guys can keep the conversation rolling. We're going to move on to LORN and get spooky as soon as I make sure I'm not going to blow your ears out. Alright, yeah, let's get spooky. We're all nerds about something. Yeah, I can't disagree with that. Very moody, very atmospheric, very interesting panning going on with that train sound at the... And now we've got white noise. Bit cliche, but it works every time. The sheer production on our bass kick is bonkers. It hits, blows up, shrinks back in, and stretches. That's just... Yeah, very... It's a clean type of dirty, though. It might get grittier, that's for sure, but right now... Yeah, I can't help you on that, Damien. The closest analogy I might have is something from I Speak. Yeah, now we're getting real dirty. I'm waiting for the big moment. It might never come. We almost had it there, and we backed off the layering quite a bit. Going back to the heavy panning. It's a bit too sparse for me. I really want something to happen. It feels like we're still in the intro. thumper. Yeah. Yeah, I could see something like this being in thumper. Well, welcome to chat, pair. It sounds like anxiety. I'm curious where you would have heard anything like this in Risk of Rain. I mean, I could definitely hear this being in a Void section, but I don't think Chris Christodoulou has ever written anything like this. Oh, the kicks. Yeah, actually. Yeah, the kick specifically. I can get in line with that. So, here's my thoughts on this. I like the idea here. It has a lot of the same sonic qualities that I enjoy from I Speak. And another spoiler, I suppose I Speak will probably be on my album of the year list in a couple months. That album has stuck with me, even though it's not something I typically listen to. There's something about these types of really gritty sounds that work for me in the realm of electronica. That was chilling and relaxing. um, so I really enjoyed what it was aiming for. I also like how everything feels antagonistic. I don't think there is a single sound in here that didn't feel like it was actively trying to scare me or set me not set me at ease. What is the opposite of that? Make me tense, or outright intimidate me in some situations. And when you bring all of that together, it creates a very anxious song. Everything seems out to get me. Even the silence itself, which is utilized in a couple of sections to create anticipation. It is wonderfully crafted as a work of art to create this vibe and to sit within it and tell a story from start to finish. I needed a little bit more if I were to listen to it again. I think that's the caveat I want there. This is a fantastic work of art, but there's nothing here that grabs me for a repeat listen. I've experienced it, I appreciate it, I enjoyed it, but that's it. And we definitely need art like that. So I guess what I'm asking from it isn't something it should ever do, is have some sort of hook. Definitely feels like a soundtrack, and I can lean into that as well. Or even not necessarily a soundtrack, but mixed media. Somebody had mentioned, I don't remember what song I had reacted to, but somebody mentioned that it would be great for, oh, it might have been, nope, slipping my mind. Might have been Ocean, maybe? Did we do Ocean last week? Anyways, somebody had mentioned that it would be great for an art installation, and that's exactly where I can see this as well. Yeah, always backwards. These things are inverted. The one on the bottom is up next. That is something that will be fixed soon. We're going to say year 4. It'll be fixed for 2023. I have a lot on my plate for changes coming in 2023. This revamping this is one of them, because as of right now, I don't know if all of you are familiar with this, but a couple weeks ago, OBS updated and wiped out my entire setting. And OBS is the software I use for recording and streaming, and it's what does all the animations and puts the, the video up in the corner and stuff like that. It wiped everything. So I rebuilt the reaction scenes from scratch. There are some minor changes to them, but for the most part, it's like 99% identical. I haven't had a chance to redo this. I'm actually I'm using an old backup of my settings from an old version. So, over the winter break, I will be putting this into the new version of OBS, and through that, we'll be updating some of the stuff, including this down here. This will be in order. The one on top will be the one that's going next. I have an idea, just need to implement it. There will be a video coming out second week of November, give or take, about what's going to happen in year 4, because I do think there's going to be some changes. Patreon's going to have some changes to it as well. Not going to divulge any details yet, but I do want to say I'm getting a little bored. And I don't want anyone to think, oh, he's going to quit the channel or anything like that. I need to freshen things up. I need to change things up. I'm not burning out. I don't get tired of doing the reactions. It's just everything around it I think needs revamped. Some things need simplified. Patreon's getting pretty chaotic with its tiers. Just kind of want to trim out some of the fat and make things a bit easier for everyone. So yeah, you guys can look forward to that in like, what is that, 3 weeks, 4 weeks? We'll have a video of what's to come for Critical Reactions 2023, both for YouTube viewers and patrons alike. Yep, fix for the inverted scroll. So lots of cool things coming up. I will say though, I am pushing the date back. Normally we call the anniversary for the channel is November 7th, I think, and that's typically been the point when I begin the next year of doing the channel. But it's such a weird date, and like 6 weeks after that, I take my winter break, which I don't know if I'm going to do that. Maybe I'm going to do half of it, because we've already had 3 weeks off in the last couple of months because of hardware failures and diseases and Mother Nature. I don't think I'm going to take the full 2 weeks off. I'll do some stuff there. But I'm still going to take at least 1 week off to decompress and spend time with my kid who's going to be home for the winter. During that time, though, like when she's sleeping and stuff, I'm going to be working on OBS and doing some stuff, changing some things up. So please make Patreon easier. For those who don't know, Pear's had a rough time getting Patreon to accept there's a payment issue, and it's been like 2 weeks of trying to get support working on it. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. Anyways, yeah, things are going to be worked on though, and things are going to be improved. Oh, I was saying though is that there's like a couple weeks until the winter break, so instead of doing like, hey, it's the new year and you're not going to see me for a little bit, I'm just shifting it to the first week I'm back in January. We'll call that the start of the new year, as far as the channel is concerned. Because, well, it is the new year for calendars and stuff, so that kind of makes sense. All right, so I guess that's enough for critical spoilers. Did not plan on divulging anything about that. It's supposed to be a surprise, but here we go. Just me rambling and opening my mouth. Whatever, it happens. I think I will check out the rest of this, though. Interestingly, this album released on my birthday, so that's something. Oh, there's only 2 tracks on it. I mean, I guess that's kind of normal for electronic stuff. Yeah, his 2020 album only had 3, so I will check out the other one of this on my own time, and that way I can put another 2022 album on my listen list this year. All right. next up, we got some Arch Echo. And this is a band that I believe I enjoyed in the past. This one comes from 2112, very bright sounding prog, ton of moments I love in this song. I don't know if I understand the cut the anchor connection. I never even began to think about that. So, Damien, we're gonna go on a little journey again. Something interesting, you mentioned up all these channels. I do have a few here. We have critical reactions, critical input. We do have critical gaming and critical compositions. So there is a little bit of a critical network going on. Most of them are older channels that did not pan out, but I've been running under this critical brand. 8 years now, 9 years now. We go pre-YouTube, probably 10 years, because I'm pretty sure I released a custom ROM for the NVIDIA Shield Portable like 10 years ago under the Critical Composer name. So yeah, the Critical brand has done a lot of things. That's just me having a lot of interests in life. So critical gaming is not the future, it is actually the past. But critical cooking might be around the corner. Critical spoilers, probably not. I mean, what would that entail? I mean, that could be just me spoiling films. A 5-second video. Hey, at the end of Lord of the Rings, this happens. Oh, man. If I could do YouTube... Well, that'd just be rude, right? I was going to say I could turn it into YouTube Shorts and you're just scrolling and you get a movie spoiled, but that's rude. I don't want to do that. Needs its spin-off, the cynical brand. Just reviewing car spoilers. Oh! I don't know anything about it, so it'd be the exact opposite of critical music, where I use like the least technical lingo and I make up words I already make up words all the time. I guess that wouldn't be too different. This spoiler definitely makes it look like it goes fast, and it looks like a cheese grater, so it's dual purpose. Something happens at the end of Lord of the Rings? Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I'm so sorry. In fact, that's kind of a spoiler for all movies. I apologize about this. Things happen at the end of movies. Y'all have been spoiled on everything available out there. And I apologize for that. Next week I'll be canceled and I'll have to make a real apology video about it. Alright, let's dive into some Arch Echo. I remember these guys from Arch Week from like 2 years ago. So the fact that I remember this at all is kind of bonkers. But it was like video game, proggy instrumental music, and I said it reminded me of Sonic. I'm pretty sure that's what I said. If it wasn't, then I'm misremembering history, which is pretty on brand for me. Let's dive into this. Oh, let me turn down the volume. That would have been quite loud. See what Arch Echo is bringing today. I really like the video here. They got the old school iPod set up. Really bright underlying idea. Beautiful guitar solo. Oh, you know what else I remember is a lot of mod wheel usage on the keyboard. Yeah, you're really not wrong. I don't know I don't know what the ratio is of episode to character deaths, but it's got to be pretty high. Just really beautiful flow on these lines. Ooh, that little shift. The flow, the pacing of these melodies, so good. Just these elongated, linear melody writing. I love that melodic drumming idea we had in the last couple of bars. That running techno, the staccato idea in the background. A little bit of polyrhythm in here. This is gentier than I remember though. Interesting accent pattern. The drums had really leaned into that section. They backed off a bit for the transition to happen. It makes sense, but it really felt like they were going to shine for a moment. I was going to say, I'm 2 songs in for them. I think only 2 songs, and neither had vocals. That's exactly what I was expecting from Arch Echo. Very bright, colorful soundscapes with beautiful melodies on top. I don't remember there being such a rhythmic textural component to the foundation. Very genty in a couple of sections. And there wasn't as much mod wheeling as I remember on the keyboard. It was pretty straightforward this time around, and that's fine. I think I actually disliked it last time. It gets a little annoying sometimes for the sound to be all fluctuating, but yeah, 100% fun though. I can't disagree with that. It is just a bright, happy sound, and I'm sure if you put an entire album on of that, it'd be very difficult to have a frown on your face. Just a fantastic group of musicians with phenomenal melodic writing, honestly. Genty is a word that breaks my brain. Is my auto zoom on? Yoink. Or autofocus. Yeah, why? That's weird. Alright. A Genty rhythm. I don't want to hear anything of those words. About once a year or so I get sucked back into these guys. Yeah, I've been in focus, but I saw my camera shifting focus from time to time. And I thought it was like I was making it up because it always happened when I never looked directly. Maybe I was looking at the camera or watching the music video or whatever, and it was just, just at the corner of my eye. But that one time I caught it, and somehow it reset its autofocus. I don't like that. I don't get closer or further from the camera. I can set it myself, Razer. I don't need you to handle that for me. Let's call out a big corporation like that. Yeah, focus is... Okay, so that's what I thought. I was curious. Yeah, turn that off. Don't like that. If I was doing like, I don't know, like some sort of toy review channel, I gotta like bring the toy up to the screen or whatever. Yeah, man, put that on. And their autofocus is actually really quick. I'll give it to them. The software on this sensor is pretty powerful. But I don't need it, so I don't like it. I wonder what triggers it then, because it's not like I'm getting close to the camera or anything like that. If I did, you guys would know because the whole screen would shake. You'd have an earthquake. I would have to move through my desk to do that. Yeah, I think that's pretty much all I have to say about this, though. No autofocus on my lawn. It's positive, it's good, it's cheerful, it's energetic, masterfully done. There's nothing in here that I think is that I have any criticism for at all. It's just very well done for what it does. Petition to have Brian climb on his desk. I'm even thinking about the logistics of this. And I'm like, well, first I'd have to lower the desk so I don't break it, I hope. And then I'm like, can the motors... Actually, I think, if I remember right, my desk has like a 300 and... Maybe it's 250. Might be a 250-pound limit, in which case I think I would just barely be able to get on it with everything on it. The monitors and the keyboard and the lights. I don't know if you guys want to put the petition together, whatever. Take a quick picture on it. Bam, look, I'm a petition follower. They petitioned and I did it. That's democracy at hand, and I follow democracy. That's got to be good PR, right? I follow democracy. Next up, we got some... Is this a legion? I feel like I've mispronounced it every time, and someone's always like, it's a legion. And I'm like, I see that word, and I don't think a legion, but I think that's what they're called. This one comes from Jason. Tech death with some cleans. Vocalist recently left and replaced by the original vocalist, so the cleans on this album will probably be the last from the band. Well, that's a shame. I do enjoy my clean vocals. We're going to do just the audio. We're not going to do the video, primarily because the audio quality is the same in both of them, but as I was checking the audio and scrubbing through the video to make sure that, I got the highest point to check the audio against, it does have some gore that I'd rather just avoid showing, and a lot of it just seemed like shots of the forest anyways, which maybe there is a... If you're interested... the video, it's not hard to find. The band is awesome. Not sure if I've heard this one. Yeah, let's do it. We got the audio set at the right level. We got 4 more to go. 45 minutes to do it. This is Of Beasts and Worms. I kind of hope there's a track before this, because otherwise they just grab your attention, startle you, and calm down, bro. Why are you getting all jumpy?
whispering wood where emptiness stirs, where the eyes of the sun dare not linger. We're a cloister of silhouette shapes emerge and feast on the bodies of beasts and worms. This is the place where I rest my bones, and the river that cleanses me runs alone.
Real tough time getting the meter on that last section. I think I had 7 bars of 7 and a bar of 5. Just a really bizarre phrasing on it. Definitely in 4/4 here though. Yeah, that was my fault. The mute. Really cool layered harshes there. Those are way out there on the sides. It sounded like it was just our core vocalist just layered up way on the outsides. Alright, Virginian, have a good rest of your day. I'll be right back. See you in a moment. Fun. Let's bring this home. clean harmony with the texture layer underneath. Okay, so yeah, that goes on the list, and it says it's for 2022, so that's kind of nice. I will definitely have to listen to that before the end of the year, because there's a possibility that might end up on the list. The album of the year list, if I wasn't clear. Just what an exciting song that was. Musically, a lot of it is kind of just leaning into that death metal sound. It's a lot of aggression, a lot of attacks, but they pulled in a little bit of the mellow death kind of angle of incorporating harmonies and very strong riffage in a couple of places. I think it was the section just after the second chorus that was just beautiful as far as the riff goes. None of the other riffs prior to that had really grabbed me, but that one right there, so good. And then the solo section and the duet there actually had some really nice melodic writing. They are the outliers, though. A lot of this is just aggressive riffage, which is fine for the most part. Kind of hope they lean more towards the mellow death idea, but I don't think they're listed as a mellow death band, so in this context, at least for me, I think we discussed this a couple weeks ago, mellow death. Melodic death tends to have a lot more melody in it. Mellow death has melodic-esque riffage. That's my differentiation, at least. I know some people see the two as the same. Oh, they actually do classify themselves as melodic death metal, so there is a chance. Okay, right here. If you like them, you may also like Bleed the Future by Archspire, AOTY from last year. Well, in the list. Where Owls Know My Name by Rivers of Nile. Haven't gotten into the album, but I absolutely love that title track. So I might be in good company here. Yeah, I'm just gonna have to listen to this. Like I said though, a lot of this is just straight death metal, but there are some nice melodic components to the writing. But what really sold me is the vocal work. Not only do we have the two vocalists with their lower harshes that we heard layers of in our verses, but we also had the cleans layered against the growls, and then the cleans pushed into a higher fry scream, and then that paired with the lower growls, and that moment was just so good. Same vocalists? Oh, given what was said, I kind of figured that there were two vocalists for this one, and the clean one left, leaving just the harsh. Well, it still sounds good. I still enjoy it. It is weird, though, knowing that it's only one person. I have a different view on it. I'm trying to force that view out. It shouldn't matter, but it does change the way I feel about it a little bit. But it's still expertly done. I'm still going to give the album a go. It's just so much in the vocal realm that really works. And I do like how they shift up some of their modes and keys from time to time. It's just really well done musically, and it gives just a little bit of extra contrast from moment to moment rather than just always working within the same chord progression or key. Okay, so this dude left and the old vocalist came back on, or the old vocalist was already part of the band and just took over lead vocal duties again. Either way, I think I get the gist of it now, which is just such a shame. Because, man, I think Azzy and I were on the same same section here. When they said something about the last section, more of it or something. I don't know. I can't find that. Anyways, yeah, I think we were both on the same wavelength for that. Of course, Paracot on. We got Harshes and Cleans paired up. Just that's right up my alley right there. Oh, there it is. I just want that last section from Azzy. Yeah, definitely, 100%. Brian seems excited. Did I? I felt like I was hyper-focused a lot of that, just really digging into the meat of this. But maybe I was just like beaming. Like the song was just, it's good. It's good. It is not exactly what I want out of metal, but it's very, very close. Like I said, I could take a little bit more melodic components to this, but honestly, the way that this is, like I said, it could possibly be in the top 10 for this year. That was just a surprise. You know, I don't usually get told, hey, you're in store for death metal, and I'm like, you know, I'm really gonna dig this. Usually it's, all right, let's see what they've got. Let's see how far this one pushes me out of my comfort zone. Alright, we got one from Ohakade, Seventh Wonder, The Light, from their dang, this is their third 2022 album from the stream. Let's just call this the modern stream. Everything's been real recent. From their 2022 album, The Testament, progressive metal band from Sweden. Alright. You would dig their Rush and Yes covers. Interesting. Again, not something I typically associate with death metal. I assume that they're doing covers of those bands in Allegaeon style. Like they've ramped up the aggressiveness and the harshness, but they still retain the riffs and the licks and the lyrics. It's kind of what I'm picturing. In which case, I'm picturing something pretty good. Alright, let's dig into this one. Switch this. Alright, so we got Seventh Wonder. Crank the volume up so you can actually hear it. And let's go. Very bright and cheery so far. Darkness. Oh, actually they did do a key change, but it's not what I meant by that. Interesting shift. A real fun idea so far. Lots of energy, lots of drive. Another one that has a very strong 80s vibe to it though. Really fun dotted border idea. Really heavy version of Yes's Roundabout. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. Getting a little bit of that mixed head and chest to get those higher notes. All the little things. like how the last verse introduced that little shift. There's so many little variations going on, and to me that's elevating and part of it. Got the choir thing going on as well. Yeah. Such a smooth rhythm right there. Oh snap! I knew that rhythm felt familiar. It's a small variation on a marching snare standard. There's like 2 changes to it to kind of give it a funky groove, but otherwise, it's very close. Beautiful vibrato.
That I have ever felt. In agony and misery, I wandered without light, with nothing there to fill the hole inside. There was a night I saw my eyes deceiving me, fooling myself. I was a victim of circumstance, but tonight I feel the lies all leave.
Build up, more layers, more intensity, more volume.
It's a choice that you can't leave to chance. I'm forging my life in the fires of broken inside. I can fall 1,000 times and dance and run it up. Just a warm embrace or a touch of grace. The first heartbeat of new life.
Key change? Yep. So yeah, there's some pretty standard ideas in there. Definitely some sections that went a bit into stereotypes, but honestly, if that's the kind of music you're wanting, they deliver it. Everything that you would expect, they land on. I think I only had one section that I miscalled, and I really expected them to go from that brightness into a darkness, get a little bit of a mode change in there for contrast. I hear that a lot in prog metal, especially when they're working on that level of energy. And we did kind of see that when we went into the first verse and we ducked down to just the guitars in the lower end with that rhythmic riff. But not quite what I was expecting when I said darkness. I was expecting to really have a big key change there. But yeah, everything else is what I would expect from a band pulling off this type of music, and they do it exceptionally well. The key changes, the mode shifts, the contrast, the transitions, the solos, the melody writing, the vocals, everything is on spot and just done exceptionally well. Interestingly, though, as I pointed out, it has an 80s feel to it as well. Not 80s pop like that other one we did, Midnight something, Midnight Eternal, but more of an 80s rock vibe, pop rock maybe. I honestly don't know. Something in that area, I hope. Maybe it's just 80s prog as well. I kind of get some Queensryche vibe out of this and early Dream Theater. But yeah, like I said, very well done, executed extremely well, and very comfortable. Like I said, it has a lot of the things I expected. I called them out before they happened. Rhythmically, as I moved my body with it, I, correctly guessed rhythmic changes. So Seventh Wonder is a really talented band that I don't care much for. I can see that. Not necessarily see why you would feel that way, but just in general, they're a very iterative prog band, which kind of feels antithetical to it. The point of prog, at least to me, is to push against norms. But I suppose when a genre gets as big as this, there's going to be imitators who take the ideas and run with them and put their own spin on them. So, yeah, kind of interesting how prog is both a term for progressive, but also a genre that can be iterated upon and cycled within. But yeah, if you listen to prog for new ideas, this is not going to, well, based off of this one song, this is not going to be a band that you're going to want to pay attention to. But, it's awesome that you said that they're very talented. You recognize that. That's one of the things I like about this community. You recognize the talent, but also, it's just not for you, and that's fine. So yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say on that one. Just very well done. Very jammy, very groovy too. It did not feel like 6.5 minutes, and that's a good thing. Here's another one with no context. Comes from Oog Oog. We're going to be checking out Sleepy Sun, the track Marina. And I love this artwork. When I checked this out earlier, when I was getting my volume levels, just fell in love with it. Just really beautiful. I love the way that the hair pulls into the bird, and even the hair behind the character. Oh, you can't see my cursor, can you? Nope, my cursor's not captured. Interesting. It is the feathers of the bird, so that's really cool. And then, of course, the tree and the flowers and everything. It's just a really beautiful work of art. I'm kind of thinking indie rock for this one, but, who knows, honestly. Let's dive into this and see what Sleepy Sun is doing with Marina. Heavy distortion on our solo guitar. Interesting mode we're in. Key. Is this a very bright doom metal? Oh, okay, Desert Doom. That might be it.
Float me down west of the lazy river.
It reminds me of a less aggressive King Buffalo. Glad to hear it. I mean, I don't have control over it, but... Oh, snap. There's another face in, like, the watercolor runoff in the bottom right-hand corner of the album art. It's a silhouette. You can see the nose and the mouth.
Take me where your eyes are always blooming, with golden leaves, red pine trees, what dreams may come. What do where we wind up where
I like the vocals. They have southern indie rock laid backness to them. This part's so strange though, like it fits as an extension of the previous section, but it's so weird when played against the heavier one. Doom and, oh, country. I'm glad I'm not the only one who hears this southern element. I mean, the harmonica kind of lends into it, but I primarily get it from the vocals. Ooh, what? Yeah, we can definitely go folk. That's a good word for that whole section. And we got like an Afro-Cuban vibe coming in with the rhythm, the wood block. Oh no, what's up with those growls? Oh no, that's a jaw harp, isn't it? Give me back the doom. Pushing more straight rhythms against. What is this? Loving those harmonies though.
outside flushes white, warmer tones than before. Outline flushes free, free of life, freedom.
Huh. That was, what is that? The band's Dead Metal, but I mean that, album art. I'm not gonna play the song, but I gotta bring this album art real quick. Look at that. Wow. Caught my eye immediately. Anyways, what was that? An interesting mix of folk and doom and Afro-Cuban ideas with atmospheric chants and sounds that led into a mashup of a lot of those ideas. And even during that Afro-Cuban section, we had, because like Afro-Cuban has really asymmetric rhythms to it. It's a lot of what builds up the rhythmic identity of that style of composition. And we put straight rhythm drum kit, very rock style drum kit playing against that. That was a very weird. Oh, and stoner, yeah, for sure. Just I really don't even know how to talk about. I can speak about each section individually. I think they were all well done. I love the vocals in the folk section, the harmonies that we ended up getting in that very final rock section, the rhythmic changes throughout, the weight changes throughout, the stoner doom guitar duets that we constantly had. We had two guitars, one panned either side, doing their own thing while also coming together for dyads. It's just a really beautiful way of crafting that every single time. Too much drugs in those album arts. They're definitely trippy. That's for sure. But, you know, sometimes it's the trippy ones that are eye-catching, enthralling even. There's something about this one, but the last one was beautiful too. Like I mentioned, it had like that combination of the person and the nature sort of bleeding into each other, but then there's this little bit of like dried out watercolor spilling out at the bottom that also made another silhouette of a person. Just gorgeous album art. Yeah, I don't know if I have anything other than to say about that. The individual elements are really good, but what it meant, what it did, how they all fit together, I don't know. It's sort of like, I don't know, it's all over the place. And I enjoy it for that. There's definitely a lot of novelty to that song. That helps it stand out. I'm glad I got to listen to that. Oog Oog, fantastic pick there. Very confused by that track though. I have no way of putting that into words. We're going to finish up today with a very fun band. We got some DEVO. And this is a very big bit of context. I may have to adjust this once it comes in. Oh no, it actually... Huh. It used to resize it based on how big it was, but the widths have all been the same today. I wonder if that... I actually don't know. Anyways, let me resize this just a little so I can... Alright, so this is Swelling Itching Brain by DEVO. This request is from Indigo Raven. This band is perhaps one of the most underrated in history in terms of impact. A lot of people only know them for one song, but if you look into their catalog, you'll see that they were way more than that. They had a sound and look that was their very own. They truly innovated in music, stage performance, stagecraft, and numerous other areas. Their songs actually have a lot of lyrical depth, and I hope that one day the surviving members will get the acknowledgement that they truly deserve. I chose this song and video because I think it brings together a lot of those aspects of the band. I don't think it's their best, though I do like the song, but I think it's more accessible for some people who only know and like Whip It. It's not super musically complex, but the song and the performance create a really interesting and unnerving atmosphere in a good way. I don't know what the song is officially about, but I think it has to do with anxiety and paranoia at extremes. Alright. I only know 3 songs by DEVO, and I think I can only name 2 of them, so this will be interesting. And of course, one's Whip It, and the other one is something about a coal mine. Going down in a coal mine, something like that. I don't know. It's a really catchy first verse, but I can't remember anything else in it. So, let's dive into this. It's going to be interesting to finish this off with some DEVO. Let's hit it. So I think this already. We have the falling idea versus the rising idea. The keyboard's back there. Gotta get another shot of that. Okay, so the keyboard is hitting notes. It looked random originally. We got some micro-tonality. I mean, the entire song is based around a single, well, two ideas. One is a small variation on the other. It really is a back and forth between the two. That's kind of how Whip It is as well, isn't it? Not too sure what to make of that. Whip It is just basically two ideas going back and forth several times. Like a verse, chorus, verse, chorus. It's interesting too, if I'm remembering Whip It correctly, that the two songs, at least I've been introduced to from them, I wish I could remember more of that Coal Mine song. I could have a stronger argument here than two songs from their discography. They don't utilize bridges. They just keep the cycle going. I'm curious how much of their work incorporates that composition, that structural style. I don't think there's anything stand out about the two ideas at play here. To me, it's not so much about the music, at least for this. It's more about the performance, which is what Indigo Raven. Oh, of course, I can't bring it back. Well, those things I gotta address. Yes, Indigo Raven had mentioned is that it's sort of a total package. It's about the stage presence and the stage crafts and the performance itself alongside the music that they were innovating on several areas. And it really is through all that that I think the performance is interesting, the way that everybody sort of moves in a very stiff robotic manner. I'd wager Cardiacs took some inspiration. It's possible. I mean, it's not like Devo was nobody. I don't know how widely known they were in their day. I've always known Devo. Um, and, you know, of course, like I said, it's Whip It and whatever the Coal Mine song is, but uh, I can't remember a time not knowing the band, not knowing the iconic pyramid hats, not knowing the white jumpsuits. It's just my dad must have introduced me to them a long time ago. Um, but I get the feeling that they're not unknown, just that they didn't have the, well, Indigo Raven was arguing that they didn't have the impact they should have had. So yeah, I could definitely see Cardiacs taking some inspiration as this, especially from the performative side. Cardiacs music, obviously, I think there's some lineage here. I think it'd be very odd to hear from Cardiacs members that they didn't take any inspiration from or possibly didn't even hear of Devo's works when they made their own. But I'd say even the performative side of the slapstick comedy and having their own sort of off-kilter kind of style in how they put performances together ties heavily to how Devo was doing their own off-kilter thing. This is electronic pop rock kind of area of music, but it's very stiff and odd and theatric even in some ways, with just the overselling of the physical movements, the leg movements, the very quick like tearing at the shirt that our vocalist was doing near the end of it. So I went to check real quick, not too sure if I ever heard Whip It. I don't know how you couldn't have. It's been in so much pop culture media. As far as I know, it's almost like they were a one-hit wonder. Like there's just no way. It was so oversaturated. There's no way you could have missed it in your life. And I guess some people have rocks to live under, but I don't know. Maybe I'm also overselling how popular Whip It was. Don't think Cardiacs looked at List Pop alone for inspiration. Devo did have some mainstream spotlight. Interesting. Dang. I gotta find this Coal Mine song real quick. Oh yeah, working in a coal mine. Going down, down, working in a coal mine. Whoop, we're gonna slip down. Something like that. I'm gonna play a quick clip of this. Just because I want to hear it. I mean, geography definitely could have a play on it. Yeah, I don't remember any of this music though. I literally only remember the lyrics, which is odd.
Well, I've been working in a coal mine, going down, down. Working in a coal mine, whoop, about to slip down. Working in a coal mine, going down, down.
What's the chorus though?
About to slip down. 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm up there for the sun. When my
None of this is
weekend's over,
familiar.
too tired for having fun. I've been working in a coal mine, going down, down.
Still just on that two idea vamping though, back and forth on it. I wonder if the rest of it does that. Yeah, those are like the only two. And apparently, I mean, this is off their greatest hits, so it is one of the more popular ones. But I don't ever hear anybody talking about Coal. It's always Whip It. This sounds more familiar in a way, but I haven't heard this one. Listen to Whip It, but that's complete. Wow. It's got to be a cultural thing then. I mean, Whip It was in commercials. It was so many TV shows had it or spoofed it. I remember it was on Simpsons. it was just oversaturated at one point in time when I was a kid. So those mid to late 90s maybe would be when I really began to form memories. I just remember it being everywhere though. And even a little bit after, I think as more people found it and started have like a retro revival kind of thing of it, when it started to show its way into more commercials. Yeah, it's a weird culture shock when something's just so oversaturated in my understanding of life, my life, um, and just not present at all in other countries, other people's walks of life. It's kind of bonkers. I mean, it makes perfect sense, but it's weird to think about. I mean, that's the definition of culture shock, but yeah, like I said, musically, I don't think there's anything real strong to it. It's about the performative aspect about it. It's about the lighting and the movements. Well, yeah, of course, that's where I was leaning on that. Like TV shows, I think, depending on how popular the show is, it's going to get a translated version in other countries, but commercials are going to be drastically different between countries. And see, yeah, if you don't understand the reference, you just see a bunch of people in weird red pyramid hats singing a song that you've never heard before. Yeah, it's one of those American things I don't get. What's the next joke? Um, and of course that always, that works in every direction. Anytime you're consuming media from another culture or country, there's going to be things that go over your head if you're not familiar with specifics of that culture. So yeah, y'all don't wear pyramid hats? uh, that wraps it up for today. That was an interesting thing to end on. Both of those actually, the Sleepy Sun and Devo. Lots of interesting stuff in here though. I mean, we found death metal, an album of death metal that I'm gonna check out. An Avatar song that, well, there's an Avatar song. I guess that one wasn't an oddity. 80s symphonic. Is that what we came on to? Symphonic. Yeah, just a really eclectic group of tracks today. I'm gonna finish up. No black metal. I joke a little bit. We do have, I think we have some black metal coming. Oh, we do. Tomorrow we have Wolves in the Throne Room. And I don't know what else we have this week though. We are checking out a track for Friday, creator request. Our band is called Creepy Willie. Interesting band name. Sorry, yeah, that's the band name, not the track name. The band name is Creepy Willie. But I don't know about the rest of the week, so I can't really tell you what's going on. But we are starting off Monday with some black metal. Avatar just be an Avatar. That's true. You never know what you get with them. I gotta listen to an album from them. Avatar Country, that's what I said, right? Yeah, I already took that down. Alright. That's gonna do it for the stream. Thanks everybody for coming out, spending some time with me, listening to some new music, and getting excited about some stuff. Whoa! Well, okay, 1 second. I don't know how I missed this. I've been looking at this all day. The thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs down. Oh yeah, but no number. Share, clip, save. These are all rounded buttons now. When did this happen? The subscribe button is now rounded instead of a rectangle. Like these up here, the all from your search, DEVO, the search tags, those used to be round, but this stuff didn't. Weird. And that's been on all of my videos. Actually, those don't have anything on them. That's what I expect. Nothing. It's only this Devo clip that has that. That makes it double weird. Last hasn't happened for me. Man, YouTube with their slow rollouts. Weirdness. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts about Avatar Country. That was my pick for the album poll before I switched to Epica. Yeah, I'll be sure to post it in Discord. I probably should. This is something I'm thinking about for 2023 is doing album reviews, like actual reviews. More in line with like Fantano's album reviews, but more in depth, bringing some musical components to it, but not utilizing the music, so there won't be a reaction portion, and it will be partially scripted. I'll have listened to it once or twice on my own time and written out my thoughts, or at least bullet points where I might elaborate on them off the cuff, but I have topics I want to talk about. Because I listened to all this music on my own, and I've been putting it, my thoughts on Discord or these Twitter threads. I have a YouTube channel that's music based. Why aren't I making videos about it? Really, we're talking about, 20, 30 minutes worth of video making. I could easily fit it on my plate, I think. So, I'll let you know my thoughts on Avatar Country. I'll probably put it into Discord, but if I've shifted over to the album review idea, I might just do it there. Yeah, y'all are welcome for the stream. I'm going to eat some lunch. I have like 5 pizzas left over from yesterday's birthday party. I have a lot of balloons left over from yesterday's birthday party, so gonna go pack away the carbs. Not to mention it could be hard to find a post in Discord. Yeah, I mean, I would tag you specifically since you asked for it, but still. Eat the balloons. Eat the balloons, play with the pizza. Message received. All right, you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll catch y'all later.